There appears to be no end to the hounding of Hindus in Bangladesh, and the frequency and intensity is only increasing by the day. Despite worldwide outrage and the latest display of deliberate persecution, dozens of ISKCON members who were carrying valid travel documents and visas were turned back by Bangladesh police when they tried to cross into India. 54 members were informed that their travel was not authorized after being made to wait for hours. And this is not the first in ISKCON's long list of recent woes. The organization is on the radicals' radar. Two more people linked to arrested former ISKCON member Chinmay Krishnadas have been nabbed. Bank accounts of 17 ISKCON associates have been frozen, and there's also the unrelenting vandalism on temples. Almost 4 months since the Bangladesh coup, the opposition is finally waking up to the plight of Hindus in the neighboring nation. But even while expressing concern, political priorities are not being forgotten. PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti in fact thinks that there is no difference between what's happening in India and Bangladesh. Listen into her assessment.
तो जब हम में और बांग्लादेश में कोई फर्क ही नहीं रहेगा, हमारे यहाँ हम माइनॉरिटीज को तंग करेंगे, उनकी मस्जिदों को तोड़ के शिवलिंग ढूंढेंगे। बांग्लादेश में अगर कोई हिंदू हमारा भाई वहाँ की जाति के खिलाफ बात करता है, उसको जेल में डाल देंगे। यहाँ उमर खालिद को जेल में डालते हैं, वहाँ उनको जेल में, तो फर्क क्या है? मुझे तो लगता है कोई फर्क ही नहीं है।
Now, Mehbooba might be drawing false parallels, but at least she's not shying away from being unequivocal about the fact that she's speaking of the Hindus' plight, unlike her peers in the India bloc. Listen to West Bengal Chief Minister, who has put the onus of protecting Hindus on the centre, demanded that the Prime Minister personally intervene to secure the safety of religious minorities in violence-hit nation, and called for a UN peacekeeping force to be deployed in Bangladesh. But in making this statement of intent, she doesn't even utter the word Hindu. So how does one take this concern at face value, or as BJP alleges, are these tears meant only to protect vote banks, not the persecuted?
बांग्लादेश में हिंदुओं के संरक्षण के बारे में केंद्र सरकार ने सबसे सख्त कदम उठाना चाहिए। सिर्फ अकेले शेख हसीना का संरक्षण नहीं करना चाहिए, बांग्लादेशी हिंदुओं का भी संरक्षण करने के लिए केंद्र सरकार ने क्योंकि बांग्लादेश इतना सा देश है, अगर हिंदुस्तान ने आग भी उठाए तो बांग्लादेश भूख से बैठ सकता है।
मोदी सरकार की कायराना, बुज़दिलाना और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर कमजोर पड़ना।
ममता बनर्जी एपीचमेंट पॉलिटिक्स कर रहा है, तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति।
Let's take this across to our guests now. Joining us, we have with us RP Singh, BJP's national spokesperson. In fact, also with us on the broadcast, of course, continuing from debate number 1, Dr. Anand Raghunathan, author, as well as Karan Verma, author, and Kamruzaman Chaudhary, political analyst. Joining us also are Aditya Gupta, youth vice president of the PDP. But my first question goes across to Arka Kumar Nag, lawyer, as well as political analyst. Arka Kumar Nag, the question is this: that Mamata Banerjee finally has broken her silence after a few weeks. Some may say it's delayed, some may say it's not. But the question is, at least she should be addressing or mentioning the word Hindus when they are the persecuted minority over there. Why shy away from doing that?
Well, I believe there are things which are trying to be found out in what Mamata Banerjee has said. Perhaps she is the only chief minister, correct me if I am wrong, who has gone up in a legislative assembly speaking about an issue at large. And on your show itself, I had spoken earlier where I had spoken about what Mamata Banerjee and her party believes. The Trinamool Congress have always relied upon the central government so far as any external affair thing is concerned. Whatever the central government does, the Trinamool Congress supports unequivocally so far as external affairs is there. And there is no difference so far as this situation is concerned. But of course, it is a fact that Hindus are getting persecuted there. It is extremely shameful that a Nobel Peace Laureate who heads the country's government has absolutely lost control of his own government. I do not even know whether, as per international law, that man can be called the head of the government, because the resignation of the Prime Minister, the appointment of the new chief advisor, it is all very messed up with Bangladesh. But it is extremely shameful that the people of Bangladesh, the government of Bangladesh, has forgotten that it was India which made all efforts for this existence.
No, that's fine.
It is extremely ungrateful on their part of what they are doing or what they are trying to project. Projecting the country to be anti-India is a suicide mission Bangladesh is on.
Okay.
It is absolutely a worthless thing, and I urge BJP spokespersons are here. I urge that the central government should make it a point.
We will ask the question of the BJP. But the quote, and if I can just paraphrase what she has said, Arkanak, she says that we can rehabilitate Indians attacked in Bangladesh. The question still remains, why refuse to identify them as Hindus? And let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, do you think there is a pattern here? When we saw the statement coming from the Congress party, they very clearly said that persecution of minorities, again, a refusal to specify the name of the community or the communities that were targeted. Is there a pattern here?
No, Madhav, I think we are beyond identifying patterns here. Look, this is not about Ms. Mehbooba Mufti or the other Islamist apologists, and we've seen and heard her utterances when the Article 370 issue came up, and her rabid anti-India comments, anti-Hindu comments. It's not about them. It's not even about Mamata Di, who's actually said something that I, without any sarcasm, and I am with Nagda on this, I support her. Yes, she's not mentioned Hindu, but it's not about her at all. It is about the central government and the Modi government. What are they doing? Right now, they are doing zero visibly. Zero. It's been 4 months. If they cared about the Hindus of Bangladesh, have they even set up one detention or relief camp this side of the Bangladesh border? There are tens of thousands of persecuted Hindus running away from certain death. They are in chest-high waters of Teesta, infested with alligators and snakes, pleading the BSF to be let in. They are being returned to certain death. And what do? We are just saying, outraging on Twitter, don't do this, don't do this. We are pleading to Islamists. The job, the onus of the Islamists is not to save the Hindus. It is our onus. What have we done? So I'm not bothered about what Mufti says or Didi says or whatever they're right or wrong. What are we doing? What is Modi doing?
RP Singh, questions for you coming not from the opposition as much, but much more vehemently from Anand Ranganathan. Please respond to him.
Well, he has the right to ask the question as a citizen also, and as a panelist who comes every day and speak on the nationalist issue and then strongly defends the Hindu and the Indian cause. But fact is that Indian government has been ongoingly taking up the issue with the Bangladesh government, and also has been trying to rake up this issue at the international forums also now. But concern is that what is happening there, we should understand that, and then what's happening in our country and how equivalency is being built up in our country vis-a-vis what's happening there by people like Mehbooba Mufti or others, for that example. When they say Omar Khalid and Chinmay Krishan Das are same, I mean, he meant that way, that Chinmay Krishan Das has been held up in Bangladesh, so is Omar Khalid here. So this is the problem. But fact is that Indian government is, whatever in the diplomatic way it can do, is doing. But I have a question to ask from a friend who was speaking in favor. I don't know whether he's from TMC or not, but he was supporting Mamata Banerjee. Can he ask Mamata Banerjee to kindly support CA? If people from Bangladesh want to come here, the Hindus from Bangladesh want to come here, will they allow us to get them here and then get them citizenship under the
you still have not specified RPC on what the government is doing, but that's a question for Arkanak. Since you asked a pointed question, I'm going to give Arkanak a chance to respond. Arkanak, very quickly. Will Mamata Banerjee allow CA, because the same logic was applied, and this is a law that opposition parties, including the TMC, have opposed in Parliament?
Right. I would like to make it a very prominent point. The point is that there is a problem of minority persecution in a neighboring country. And that the solution cannot be inviting other country people in our country. Refugees will only create problems in our
What are you
country,
saying?
irrespective of religion.
Mamata Banerjee says we can
Irrespective of
rehabilitate
religion.
Indians. Arka Nag, you don't agree with Mamata Banerjee?
No.
She
Mamata
says we can
Banerjee
rehabilitate
said
Indians. Have you seen a statement today?
Indians.
We will give one roti to them.
Mamata Banerjee
There is no
said
shortage of food grains. What are you saying?
Indians. Mamata Banerjee says we can rehabilitate Indians. Rehabilitating Indians.
So how many Indians are there in Bangladesh? Please tell me.
No, that is the central government and the government in Bangladesh which has to find out. What are you saying? We are not
Arka Nag, you know, you are defying all logic today. Normally, you are a fairly reasonable man, but this is beyond.
All Hindus in Bangladesh are Indians. Madhav, is this the point that all Hindus in Bangladesh or all Muslims?
That's the question we are asking you. You tell us. You tell us.
No.
What does she mean by saying that we will allow all Indians in there?
Somebody is not an Indian, the person concerned has to be a refugee. And India is not in a position, most importantly,
okay, many hands going up.
Is not in a position financially for
many hands going up. Many hands going up. Many people want to respond to you. Dr. Ranganathan, then Karan. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Very quickly look, in 2012 and 2015, the CPIM and the Congress brought out a resolution on paper demanding Indian citizenship to Bangladeshi minorities. Now, Bangladeshi minorities are not Muslims, right? But the moment Modi brought in CAA, all hell broke loose. But with due respect to my dear elder brother R.P. Singh ji, this is not about CAA as well. This is about setting up a camp to help the Hindus who are certainly on the road to death. We need to set up camps immediately. And as far as CAA is concerned, you know as well as I know, it was an amnesty, and the number of citizens that have been, people that have been made citizens are now 14 Bangladeshi refugees have been given citizenship. Less than the number of Bangladeshis who came as cricket team. So let's not talk about that. What can we do other than raising the issue, R.P. Singh ji? We have to act. People are dying, R.P. Singh ji. They are dying.
R.P. Singh ji, Mamata Banerjee says call the UN peacekeeping force there to ensure there is peace in Bangladesh. Raise this matter diplomatically. What is the concrete result of raising it internationally, as you are saying? Because people are waiting to see the results, because this has to stop.
Madhav, the diplomatic process takes time and it is quite tedious. We all know that. It's not that one can go into that other country and do whatever they want to do. Or we understand the pain of the Hindus there. We appreciate the concerns also, and then it has to be taken care. But only way is that to build up pressure on the Jamaat-e-Islamiyya or which is controlling the government today, or which is managing the government today, and also trying to build up a pressure at the countries, deep states, on whose behest this government or the setup, not the government still, the setup of the administration which has taken over Bangladesh. So it's not easy to just walk into a country and do something like that, and it's not possible also. And it's not as per the protocol, the UN Charter and the protocol also.
Well, there are certainly very serious concerns there, but let me bring in some of the other panelists who have not yet spoken. No, but R.P. Singh, those questions at the end of the day, there are 52 people who are not allowed to cross over to the Indian side, despite the fact that they had valid visas. And that clearly screams of persecution, and that's a really shocking episode that has taken place. How long will such things happen in Bangladesh is a big question. But I want to ask Aditya Gupta. Aditya Gupta, end of the day, you know, your party's leader, Mehbooba Mufti, is comparing what's happening in Bangladesh to India. I mean, seriously, we are not a theocratic state. We are a secular state. If there is any such violation, there will immediately be a court case. Things will happen. The wheels of justice will turn. Far from the kind of very blatant persecution and actual physical violence that is taking place relentlessly in Bangladesh. Why even draw that comparison? Aditya Gupta, isn't it a false equivalence?
No, I will explain it. I explained it yesterday also on your channel. The statement was that, see, as far as the Hindus are concerned in Bangladesh are concerned, there are minorities there, and they have been unjustly targeted right now in Bangladesh. She said that. She showed her concern about the targeting of Hindus in Bangladesh, because she has been mentioning about the targeting or the depletion of Muslims in Gaza also. So as a matter of fact, for the concerned leader, she has mentioned about Hindus in Bangladesh. One. Number two, she's mentioned about that the similar persecution is also, once that is happening to a minority in Bangladesh, similar minorities in India are also being targeted, which was made the reference. So the comparison with regard to targeting of minorities.
No, that's the problem, Aditya. Why draw that equivalence?
No, the quantum. The equivalence here has been drawn by comparing the complete state. See, the point is that here also the minorities are feeling targeted. So mentioning that was the whole point. Rather than drawing the way it has been compared by BJP, it is not in that sense. It was said as a concern for the Hindus in Bangladesh, number one.
Karan Verma, this was an expression of concern that's being misconstrued by the BJP. Do you agree with Aditya Gupta?
No, we are so touched and honored by this gesture from Mehbooba Mufti. You know, she was the one who actually stopped her rally when Nasrallah, that dreaded terrorist, was killed. As a gesture, she stopped her election campaigning. That was the love, compassion and admiration she had for Nasrallah. So much for crying out loud, you know. She is the one who's gone on record saying Yasin Malik is being targeted. The same Yasin Malik, by the way, who has admitted that he killed 4 Indian Air Force personnel, who is convicted now as per a procedure of law. So we don't need their validations. Madhav, let's be done with this validation. I want to come to what Dr. Ranganathan said and what R.P. Singh ji also spoke about. What can we do in this situation? Fine, diplomacy has its place, but we need to treat them with an iron fist in a velvet glove. And the iron fist is there are some low-hanging fruits. $850 million of unpaid dues by the Bangladesh State Electrical Board. Why don't we pull the plug off when our company is supplying them electricity? Today, we are one of their biggest raw material suppliers for cotton. For pure cotton yarn, we supply them material worth $1.37 billion. If we pull that off, their textile industry can collapse. We need to pull these strings. We need to treat them with an iron fist in a velvet glove, and still, if they don't get it, the gloves need to be off. Because they are now transforming into East Pakistan. We treated East Pakistan once long before, we can do that again.
Well, that's a big question indeed, whether we can do that again. Let me bring in Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Kamruzaman Chaudhary comes to the root point of the debate. Of course, the government must be held accountable. Everybody must ask questions about what the expectations are, given the kind of horrendous scenes that we've been seeing coming out of Bangladesh. But at the end of the day, when the Congress puts out a statement like, the targeting of minorities, keeps it very bland, we saw earlier the entire parliament, all opposition leaders come out in one voice and unequivocally condemn. Wouldn't that in itself send out a strong message to Bangladesh as to what's happening and to the world at large? Why is that missing this time round?
No, Madhav, one thing you must understand, 15 days from now, when General Niazi laid down his arms in front of General Manekshaw in 16th of December 1971, it was a proud moment for India and Bangladeshis alike. 23 days Indira Gandhi roamed the world to create an opinion against the Pakistani army. Around 1 crore people have travelled to India as a refugee during that time. Another 3 crore people inside Bangladesh were internally displaced. We as a nation, under the leadership of Indira Gandhi, stood firmly against the atrocities of the Pakistani army in Bangladesh. This was not an isolated incident.
Of course.
When the Tamils were being harassed in Sri Lanka, Rajiv Gandhi sent his own Indian peacekeeping forces to Sri Lanka to maintain
Sir, that is all very laudable.
Because we have got
simple question. Why is it not happening today? Mr. Chaudhary, this is all recorded history. Wonderful. Why is it not happening at the moment?
Question. Madhav, through you, may I ask a question of the government? May I ask a question through your honorable channel to the Prime Minister of India? Have you sent a delegation to the Bangladesh government to inquire about the atrocities that are being reported in Indian media? No. Have you taken up any diplomatic initiative to impose sanctions on Bangladesh if the reports coming from inside are correct? Have you sent any message in the United Nations to pass a resolution against the atrocities on Hindus in Bangladesh? No. Then
okay.
What are you
Some
doing?
pointed questions. All right. I'm going to allow that. Pointed questions, Mr. R.P. Singh, this time coming in from Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Although, Mr. Chaudhary, you didn't answer my questions, but yet, nevertheless, R.P. Singh.
Well, Indian government at the diplomatic level is doing whatever they can do the best. I mean, they have been trying to put pressure through all the diplomatic channels. And also, we also know that what is happening in America, with the change of the regime there, things seem to be, will be taking better turn for Bangladesh, Hindus in Bangladesh. And also that the way that Trump has supported the Hindus' cause in Bangladesh, overall, this is all part of the diplomacy only. It's not that it's happening off the cuff or without any pulls and pressures or any
during the elections. I don't think it would be fair to say Trump supporting Hindus in Bangladesh was a diplomatic effort. But let's leave it there because we're completely out of time. RP Singh, Dr. Anand Raghunathan, Karan Verma, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, Aditya Gupta, Arka Kumar Nag. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening. The whole nation is watching what's happening in Bangladesh with shock and horror, and certainly hoping that the government can bring upon itself to get the pressure on the Bangladesh administration to end this violence, mindless violence at that immediately. Thanks so much for joining us on India Upfront this evening.